going to speak about the famous synagogue called the Shoshanim L'David Synagogue that was based very much for representing the Iraqi Jewry, Baghdad Jewry, Babylonian Jewry in Eretz Israel in its day. It's a special edition over here. We're going to speak about it. It's known as, it was a Beit Midrash. It was also a synagogue. Shoshanim L'David was over here. And it was a yeshiva. So mostly, let's just say, it was based, I believe, in the Beit Yisrael neighborhood in ultra-Orthodox area that we visited on this channel on various occasions. But that's where it will be operating. I'm just going to put my sunglasses on. Actually, I won't, because the sun is very strong over here. So it was represented in Jerusalem, and all throughout the many decades, various different services, study sessions took place over there. It was an important place during the time, for example, of Passover, where matzot baking, for example, operated there, and was an integral part for the Iraqi, let's say, a more ultra-Orthodox community, especially during the time period of the Medinat Israel, respectively. Let's explore a bit with regards to the history of the synagogue over here. Okay, so I believe it's actually interesting. I think it was right at the earliest part of the 20th century, this synagogue that actually had been established more towards the first decade, let's just say. And I think very much it was between the years 1914 to 1919. It was a famous Kaf Chaim, Rabbi Yaakov Chaim Sofer, and I think he had a very good friend, Rabbi Yecheskel Ezra Halevi, another great rabbi of his time that would help with in regards to founding, let's just say, the synagogue at that stage in time. There were other founders and integral rabbis that were towards the start of this time period of the synagogue. We should also mention over here, I think they included, Rabbi Rachamim Halevi also, who was another great rabbi of his time. Rabbi, we actually did a video on various occasions before. And mostly it was immigrants that came from Iraq would come here. These were newer immigrants, let's just say, at that stage in time. Yeah, his name was Rabbi Ezra Rachamim, a rabbi I believe we spoke about recently. And another rabbi, I believe, Rabbi Yosef Nissim, also to give his full title, was he was also another one of the great Iraqi rabbis in Eretz Israel, which we have to mention about. Rabbi Yecheskel Ezra Rachamim, Rabbi David, Meir Yosef Nissim, Salman Atuk, I believe, who was another great rabbi. I think he happens to actually have been the brother of the Ben Ish Chai, Rabbi Yosef Chaim, Chacham Yosef Chaim, we've mentioned before. Arguably, Chacham Yosef Chaim was probably the most famous Iraqi rabbi of his day within regards to that. And I think various people will actually pay big sums of money to, I think someone of the name Yosef Hanania, who was recruited into, let's just say, making the project at that stage in time. Yosef Hanani, I think, would actually be a famous philanthropist and donate a huge amount of the plot of the outskirts of Jerusalem, of that specific place, very, very generously, which was a huge important factor within regards to the building of the premises. Now we can say more within regards to the synagogue. But by the way, I think we actually visited the Beit Yisrael neighborhood on various occasions before on this series, so I recommend everyone to look at the tours that we did within regards to that specific area and the importances that actually takes place over there. So it's built, and it's an outskirts of Jerusalem, a huge history within regards to it. A Beit Midrash would begin operating inside the synagogue, where, let's just say, many members of the Babylonian community come study there, very high Torah learning over there. In addition, I think there was also a small part of the wing that was for the children of the community that operate there, so that they could also be educated within regards to Gemara and within regards to Torah study and so on and so forth over there. So there was a huge breadth of information that actually took place over there at that stage in time. But ילדים, בוא לסופר דקה, אני עכשיו עושה סרט מהר, בוא לסופר אני אגיע עוד 3 דקות, אוקיי? עוד 3 דקות, או שם, אוקיי? אני באמצע שידור חי. Okay, sorry, that was just my children over here. I thought I'd take a minute to speak about Torah, important topics of Torah. So that's what we're doing here. We had a few minutes, so we're talking about the Shoshanim L'David Synagogue over here, and just my children came at the same time. So it means it's going to be an abbreviated session. So over there, the children of the community, there was called the Babylonian Talmud at that point in time, where I think it was a Talmud Torah that was established in Shoshanim L'David Synagogue for children also. And I think it was one of the first, let's say, Talmudei Torahs that was actually for the Sephardi community, for the Babylonian community at that stage in time. Who would teach inside this synagogue, this Beit Midrash, and these institutions, especially the Kaf HaChaim? Rabbi Yaakov Chaim Sofer. He would teach especially on Shabbat, and the Beit Midrash over there was studying of Torah, high-level Torah studies. There was many of his famous books, Torah colossal works, would be written over there, specifically over there. And I think there was other rabbis, not just Rabbi Yaakov Chaim Sofer, that would actually, who was, let's just say, Rabbi Yaakov Chaim Sofer was one of the founders of the synagogues. There were various different yeshiva administrators that were famous rabbis also, we have to point out, including Rabbi Ben Zion Chazan, who was a famous rabbi over there, who I believe we mentioned about on various occasions for. Rabbi Yoshua, I think there was another rabbi, Rabbi Yeshua Shurabani, another rabbi we've spoken about before, had a huge amount, integral part with regards to this synagogue also, but doing a huge amount. Now the philanthropist, I believe, that would actually donate a lot within regards to the synagogue was someone of the name Meir Menashe. He did a huge amount, gave vast sums of money towards the synagogue to help maintain the synagogue, and I think there were other benefactors also. I think Meir Menashe, who he actually dedicated the video, he was a famous philanthropist in Baghdad. He was famous. He had many different synagogues. I think famous ones in Singapore. He was big in business in Singapore. He was connected to governments. He would actually help finance yeshiva budget, and was Ben Ish Chai that actually very much recommended his brilliance. Now I believe at one stage in time an earthquake will collapse the ceiling of the building of the synagogue over there, and I think this actually took place on February the 28th in the year 1928, and it was rescued. I think at that point in time Chacham Obadiah Yosef was learning there as a young child, if I'm not mistaken, that was there at that point in time, and there's other famous rabbis at that stage in time, and it will be Sir Manasseh Meir would actually help within regards to the rebuilding process of the Shoshanim L'David Synagogue, which was actually very important at that stage in time. So, including among the founding, let's say, rabbis over there, and the first rabbis there, included Rabbi Yechezkel Ezra Rachamim, a great rabbi we spoke about on various occasions, for he was a famous Kabbalist of Baghdad. He was wrote down various different Torah colossal works, halachic works also, including the Atzei Hayar, if I'm not mistaken, which was Chidushim on the Shas, on the Gemara, and Knesset Yisrael, something with the name Knesset Yisrael. So he was another famous rabbi of Baghdad. Then another rabbi that, let's just explore a few of the rabbis there. We're talking about Rabbi Yechezkel Ezra Halevi, was another famous rabbi there, also once again from Baghdad. He passed away in the year 1941. He was a Chacham Bashi, a chief rabbi in Baghdad, and he would have, like, let's say, he was one of the founders of the yeshiva. He would do huge things over there. He would have integral part in Jerusalem, part of the Medrash Bet Zelka he was in Iraq before. Obviously he'll have this integral part in the famous Shoshanim L'David. Another famous rabbi is the Kaf HaChaim, author of Kaf HaChaim, Rabbi Yaakov Chaim Sofer, who we've mentioned about on various occasions before. He passed away himself in the year 1939. He was once again a great Kabbalist. He was the author of various books of Hasak Halacha. He was born himself in Baghdad and would go to Eretz Israel at one stage of his life and would really do huge amounts of stuff at this point in time. So these were like the main rabbis, let's just say, of this synagogue. We did a special video on Sir Manasseh Meir, who very much was a philanthropist of the synagogue. Also, many rabbis who we've mentioned about on this series already have had a strong connection within regards to the Shoshanim L'David Synagogue that's based obviously in Beit Yisrael neighborhood in Jerusalem. Beit Yisrael is quite near Sanhedria, it's quite near Ezrat Torah, it is quite near many different places all over Jerusalem, and we did extensive tours over there. It's quite near Kiryat Sanz, Sorotskin, and different parts over. So anyone new on my channel, please type in Tour Beit Yisrael or Tour Ezrat Torah, and maybe we would have walked past the actual premises of this famous yeshiva. Now friends, we're a community here. We're learning about famous rabbis over here of yesteryear. We are also, what we're doing at the moment is we're trying to explore some of the most famous synagogues that actually took place in recent history in Sephardi countries. So we happen to be speaking about Shoshanim L'David Synagogue today, which was for the Iraqi community in Jerusalem, in the capital city of Israel, and it was really an integral synagogue at the time, part of the Okay. It was really an important synagogue, let's just say, at the time when many of the Iraqi Jews would actually come to Jerusalem will come to Eretz Israel at that stage in time. Now, friends, everyone, please subscribe to the channel. We are nearing a staggering 7,000 subscribers, which is a phenomenal achievement. We've already recorded on this series about, let's say, 1,000 plus videos on great rabbis of yesterday, especially from the Sephardic community, from the Ottoman countries over here. Many of them were in Eretz Israel. So I recommend everyone to watch over those previous videos. Please, if you dissent from any of these rabbis we are speaking about, please let me know in the email, and I will try and I'd love to hear more information. And if also one other thing you can do is, if you dissent from any big rabbis and you feel I should speak about them, please let me know the details. I'll check into it, investigate, and do research also. Now, if you feel anyone's interested in watching these videos also, please share these videos also to other people over here. So we spoke about the famous synagogue, Shoshanim L'David, based in Jerusalem, in Beit Yisrael neighborhood. Watch this space, we're going to speak about more synagogues in due course. And also all these rabbis we've mentioned about in today's class. We have plenty of information. We've done videos pretty much on all of them. So please also research on those rabbis, watch the videos we recorded on them. And yeah, it's actually a lot.